All right, we back on these Friday lives, man. The Friday vibes. Gotta love it. We got news on TJ. We got conversations revolving around a potential signing that could be useful for the Steelers down the stretch. We got Arthur Smith calling out GP in a way. Not directly, but if you put two and two together, I think we could see Arthur Smith calling out Pickens in an indirect way. Maybe if we got time, Steelers-Lions preview. Worst case scenario, we'll talk about the game for tomorrow. I'll do a Saturday show. But yeah, let's get into it. Well, actually, before that, what's up with the chat, man? What's going on? 0L4642 says it's 8 a.m. Chop chop. It's 11 a.m. over here in the Berg. But I'm guessing you're tuning in from like Cali or that West Coast. And in terms of chop chop being on time, that's not a Deke thing. That's not a me thing at all. I'm usually fashionably late, a couple minutes late. Fashionably late? What's fashionably late? Fashionably late's like 15, 30 minutes late, I would say. I was, 2-3 minutes late. So that's not too bad. Usually whatever time I initially put up, you could add 10, 15 minutes. But today, I feel like that's on time for me. 2 to 3 minutes late, that's early, actually. That's early for me. It's definitely early. Yeah, appreciate it. But Jenkins saying Deke is the man. Appreciate the support. Jay Farrow, 4893, Big Deke News. Yes, sir. Big Deke News live on a Friday. I think the Friday vibes are it, man. The Friday vibes, going live, chilling, engaging with the chat, reading the comments. I think that's the positive energy we need heading into the weekend. Might need to booze a little bit too. Maybe I should start boozing. I do got a Miller Lite Pounder chilling here. I've had this thing chilling here for a minute. Probably for 2 months. I haven't cracked it open, so I mean it's not going bad, right? It's not going bad by just chilling here. I'm good for now. I've been laying off the drinking. I got a Christmas party tonight too. I've been laying off the drinking. Been feeling good. Been on a little bit of a health kick. J-Doff 300 smoking my watching my boy Deke. Appreciate it, bro. We got Ethan 1234 saying the AirPods coming in clutch at work. That's wild because you got Rodgers as your profile pick, and Rodgers ain't about the AirPods. Rodgers is on that conspiracy theory shit with the AirPods and the Bluetooth and how it's fucking up our brains and stuff. And I actually kind of side with Rodgers on that. I only got the wired headphones. But nonetheless, my voice is coming through your headphones, wired or not wired. I appreciate you tuning in, spending your time. Muhammad saying big fan, Deke. Jaron Pittsburgh Steelers for life. Was good, Deke. Life's good, man. All right, hold on. Do I really need to turn up the mic? We had this issue last time. Do I need to turn up the mic? I'll turn it up a little bit. I don't think it's that bad. I thought it was fine whenever I watched it back last week. Oh, shit. Hey, man, we're not allowed to have headphones, so this is how I hide it. You hide it with the AirPods. You got like a beanie or something over them, I'm guessing. Okay, let's get to the first topic. TJ is back. Kind of. In a way. He's back in the building, at least. He was seen. I don't even know where this is. I don't know if it's a locker room. I don't think it's the locker room. The hallway, maybe. Some central location in the Steelers facility where people can meet. But TJ was in the building for an annual visit from the Pittsburgh Symphony this week. I actually got a clip of how the Symphony played and how they sounded.
So we're going to have a quick audition, if that's okay. Practice with the slapsticks, all right?
That's perfect for that group.
Yeah. Slapstick.
right. There we are. All right. They're in.
So that was nice. That was nice of the Steelers and the Symphony to do, come together, have some camaraderie, have some fellowship there. But TJ's back in the building. Like that's the main thing we're worried about with the Pittsburgh Symphony being in the building and playing some Christmas carols and doing some Christmas activities with the Steelers team. The main thing is we saw TJ there. How about Coach T? The Coach T with the humor. I like that. They gave the Steelers rookies the instruments and stuff to play along with the Symphony. And they're like, yeah, we're giving you the slapsticks, Tomlin. Yeah, that's appropriate. Little humor from Tomlin there, but he's chilling on that big-ass couch. No one's sitting with him. What's up with that? I mean, you're just letting Tomlin be there on the couch like that, just all himself. That's a 3 or 4 seater. Someone could have sat with Tomlin there, man. Like that's kind of messed up. He was looking lonely. But anyway, with TJ, got to be a good sign that he's there in the building with his teammates. And I was seeing some stuff from Fittipaldi, and this is the thing. The reports are all over the place with TJ right now. Reports are all over the place. Some people were saying that Steelers will be lucky if they see TJ in the playoffs, that there's a chance he's going to be out for the whole season, not just the regular season. I'm also seeing stuff that he's got a chance. He was going to have a chance to play this week, but that was a last week type of report. Obviously, TJ, he's not going to go this week. Like, there's no way. I think it would be a miracle at this point. But then I'm also seeing Ray Fittipaldi. I think this is the most recent one. I saw him say on 93.7 The Fan, it was either yesterday or the day before, that it's a strong possibility that TJ is going to be a go for Week 17 against the Browns. So hopefully, man, hopefully we get TJ back sooner rather than later. This is just a ridiculous situation, given that it took place in-house and happened while he was getting treatment with the Steelers trainers in a dry needling session. Tough. We took him out from the inside. I'm not saying it was done on purpose. Not saying it was done on purpose, but definitely a friendly fire nonetheless, and one that comes at an awful time, too. An awful time. With Herbig getting injured, we are low at the edge rush position right now. It's looking like we're only going to have Highsmith and Jack Sawyer as our top 2 guys. We pulled up Jeremiah Moon off the streets. Now, granted, Malik Harrison, who's back from injury, played these last couple weeks. He's more of an inside guy in our system, but in his prior stop with the Ravens, showcased the ability to play inside linebacker and also on the outside. So we could put him on the outside in certain situations. And then we also have a DeMarvin Leal buried on the depth chart. I bet you a bunch of you guys forgot that he's even on the active 53-man roster right now. I did. I actually did. I had to see on our depth chart. I was like, what are we going to do with TJ Watt and Herbig being hurt? Because Herbig didn't practice this week. He's out with, I think it's a hamstring. Didn't practice first 2 days of the week for practice. TJ obviously looking like he's not going to play this week. It's like, bro, we're kind of down bad at the edge rush spot. Jack Sawyer likely to get his first start. Who could we throw in there in case of emergency or just in some different packages to give Sawyer and Highsmith a breather? And Malik Harrison was the obvious name that came to mind. We picked up Jeremiah Moon, who's a former Steeler. That's, he's never really done much for us, but he's been a guy that's bounced from the active 53 to the practice squad over the years. Almost like, you know what, I was going to say almost like a James Pierre, but James Pierre has been on the active. It's just that he hasn't really been a starting corner for us. He's been more like our 4th or 5th corner, but has done a lot of special teams work. Jeremiah Moon's, he just bounced back and forth between practice squad and active and also being cut. So not high expectations for him at all, but he's at least familiar with what we do here on defense. And then, I saw DeMarvin Leal. As I was looking at the depth chart, looking at different avenues, different ways we could figure out this edge rush spot for this game against the Lions, I was like, oh, DeMarvin Leal, I guess he's back. We cut him after training camp, and I guess we brought him back on the practice squad, and then at some point in the middle of the regular season, we elevated him to the 53-man roster. So I haven't really noticed him out there. I don't know if you guys have. I don't think he's really gotten any snaps, but he's chilling there. If we need him, he's more of an interior guy. That's what we developed him to be, but he's also done some edge rush stuff in the past. So there you go. DeMarvin Leal, along with Malik Harrison, Jack Sawyer, Highsmith, Jeremiah Moon. That looks like our edge rush combination for the week, which isn't optimal, to say the least, especially going up against this Lions offense that's number 1 in the league in scoring points and at least top 3, top 5 in terms of running the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Not optimal at all. But that got some people thinking, should the Steelers look outside the building and make an addition and try to fortify the edge rush room for the time being? And one of you guys in the comments on yesterday's show brought up Matt Judon because he just got released by the Dolphins. Man, that Steelers game on Monday Night Football against the Dolphins got the Dolphins making some moves, taking some action, benching Tua, and then they also cut Matt Judon. And he was on waivers. He cleared waivers, so right now he's a free agent. Anyone can pick him up. He could sign with any team. And he's been a free agent like the last 2 or 3 days, and looks like no movement has taken place. There's been no momentum for Matt Judon going anywhere up to this point. I haven't seen any rumors or any links to any teams. But what about the Steelers with us being hurt at that outside linebacker position? Should we pick up a Matt Judon? I would say no. He's a name, but you look at what he's done for the Dolphins this year. It's been bad, and it's not like one of those things where it's been a bad fit and Judon isn't getting snaps. He's actually, if you look at his game logs, he's getting around 40-50% of snaps in most of these games, and he has 0 sacks. He is basically 0 production. So it's how much better is he than the guy we just picked up in Jeremiah Moon, who's familiar with the Steelers, has some rapport here. It's I don't, especially when you're talking about being our 3rd or 4th guy, and for it to only be a short-term thing for these next 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm assuming we get Herbig back for at least week 18 in the playoffs. Same thing with TJ Watt. Once they come back, all of a sudden the depth chart gets back to its normal ways, and you got TJ, Highsmith, Herbig as the top 3, Sawyer as your 4, and then you're talking about Malik Harrison, DeMarvin Leal being your emergency outside linebackers. And I don't even know if Jeremiah Moon will still be on the roster when TJ and Herbig get fully healthy. So for short term, I don't really think it does us any good, because we need something this week. Next week, TJ might be back. Herbig could be back. And it's what good is bringing in a Matt Judon? Now, if he's willing to do the whole practice squad thing, we pick him up, we throw him on practice squad, and he's just chilling there. We have him for depth. He's on the roster in case of emergency down the line. I'm not opposed, but I'm really not that eager to pick up a Matt Judon. I don't really think he's an upgrade over anything we got right now. Part of me thinks not only Jeremiah Moon is better than Matthew Judon for this week coming up or in the short term, but also throwing DeMarvin Leal on the edge and having Malik Harrison moonlight on the edge spot here and there. I like those options better than Matthew Judon right now. What are you guys thinking, though, before we get to this next topic? Yeah, see, this is I will give you this. I am a little bit more worried about the Herbig injury than even the TJ one. Because the TJ one, it feels like once your lung's good, right? You're just going to be good to go. These hammies, they could be delicate. You could tweak those things pretty easily. You really want those to be fully healed whenever you come back. Bad timing with the Herbig hammy, for sure. I'm with you. It could be 3 to 4 weeks. I've seen TJ in the past with a soft tissue injury. I can't remember if it was the groin or the hammy. This was during his Depoy year, I believe. Was it 2021? Or that was at least one of the years he should have won Depoy. He was putting up some crazy stats. He was out Was it the Bengals game in week 3? This was Ben's last season. So sorry if I'm going down memory lane too much here and going down a rabbit hole, but it was week 3 against the Bengals at home. We got cooked. It was looking bad, and TJ was out because of the hammy or some soft tissue injury. He came back. That was only 1 week missed. He came back against the Packers in week 4, and I don't think he had his best game or anything, but I don't remember him getting hurt again really for the rest of the season, and he continued to play with. I'm assuming he just had to manage it until it got almost fully healthy. I don't know how it exactly worked, but I've seen TJ only miss 1 week with a soft tissue / hammy injury and be good for a full season. So I don't know, man. I mean, you saw Devontae Adams try playing with it last week, and I think this is another example similar to what I just brought up with TJ, with Devontae Adams. Last week he went down with that hammy. It looked really bad. I think he's trying to play this week. So I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that the hamstrings in terms of re-injury, it's there's always a strong possibility of that whenever you're out there playing. Maybe you could go after experiencing like a pulled hammy and giving it some rest for a short time, like a week or 2, but there's a high probability that you re-injure it while you're out there. It's a delicate thing. I don't know where this is coming from. Bernard Nixon 4870. Skip is a clown and hates A-Rod. Is he saying like Rodgers' last 2 weeks aren't that good or something? Because that would be foolish. Even Rodgers' season as a whole, I think, has been good. I think he's playing at, you put his whole season together, he's playing at a top 10 to 15 level right now. I'd have to really sift through all the quarterbacks and what they've been doing this year, but just off the top of my head, top 10, top 15. I mean, if he didn't miss that game and a half right now, because he's sitting at 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. Does he have a rushing touchdown too? So like 22 total touchdowns, 7 picks. We're 8-6. I think he has. Does he have an 8-5 record as our starting quarterback right now? 8-5 record. That touchdown interception ratio. And there's been times when we haven't gotten a run game going. Our defense has been all over the place. Like, he's been the most steadying force, not only on the offense, but this entire Steelers team for the season. I would give him Steelers team MVP. And I don't even know if it's close right now. There's been guys that have had good stretches. DK had some games, had some moments early in the season, had 2 good games these last 2 weeks. Kenneth Gainwell has been good in the production. We've been getting him the ball up, but it's not like otherworldly whenever you look at his whole season. On defense, TJ's having a down year. A lot of guys have been in and out, injured. Ramsey might have a case. Maybe you could say Ramsey. I would put him second. Outside of that, yeah, there's just been too much inconsistency, I think, with play for most of the other guys, but also guys being in and out of the lineup for me to be seriously considering anyone else for team MVP. I think those would be the top 2. Cam's actually had a pretty good year, but team MVP, I wouldn't put him in that category. Let me know if I'm missing anyone. Let me know if I'm overlooking anyone, but I would have Aaron Rodgers as team MVP right now. I've been saying that over the last couple weeks. I've been saying that most of the season. So if Skip's hating on Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if there's anything we could do about that. He was always a Rodgers hater, though, going back to when Rodgers was with Green Bay. Because we know Skip's a huge Brady fan. Bernard Nixon has a follow-up there. Says it's a good thing A-Rod is not on the Pat McAfee show. I agree. And this goes back to what I was saying. I can't remember if it was on a post-game show or the live last week or one of the videos. But Rodgers has done everything you could ask for being a Pittsburgh Steeler. No drama, none of the McAfee interviews, not making it about himself. Just being all about the team, being low-key, humble, and being there to support the guys, being all in for this 2025 season. And again, not making it about himself, not bringing drama, not bringing extra headlines, anything like that. He's been great. He really has been great. Tough, too. Going back in that game against the Bills after he got drilled by Bosa, already experiencing the left wrist fracture. He's got the bloody nose. He's accomplished everything you could ask for in his NFL career. He's 42. It's fucking freezing out there. And he still goes back in. And this is after, once Rodgers got sacked, he fumbled it. Bills take the ball, take it to the house, and then Mason throws the pick. We're all of a sudden down like 2 scores in the second half. Still wants to go back in there, try to right the ship, make it a game. Didn't work out in our favor. That was definitively the low point for this Steelers season, that Bills game. But you appreciate the toughness, man. And the fact, too, whenever he first got that left wrist injury in the Bengals game, he went out at halftime. He wanted to go back in the second half. Steelers wouldn't let him. Wanted to play in that Bears game. Steelers wouldn't let him. Accomplished everything you would want in an NFL career. One of the all-time greats at quarterback. 42 years old. Like he didn't have to do that, man. He doesn't have to. He could chill. He can make sure his wrist is good. I mean, because he's going to have retirement coming up here pretty soon. It's like it would be understandable if you want to look out for your body for once you retire and you want to make sure it's good and you're not hampered post-football, walking around limping and you got to deal with an achy wrist or some complications with your wrist because of what took place in your final season with the Steelers. Like it would be fair to want to make sure your body's completely right and healed up, given you're on the back nine, really on like the 18th hole of your career. Bernard Nixon. Thanks, bro. 3 super chats in a row from you. A-Rod has 22 passing touchdowns. 23 total. Okay, so I was shortchanging him one. Thank you for that. Thank you for the stat correction. Let me see if you guys got any more takes on the edge rush shit. Potentially signing Matt Judon. How you guys feeling about that? Ulrich Diggs, 7610. I guess it's a good thing they didn't trade away Highsmith the way some wanted. Correct. That's a good take there. Yes. I do think when Herbig is firing on all cylinders and TJ is TJ, Highsmith does feel a little bit expendable. But it's almost like the secondary and with the receiver room, you can never have too many good players at those positions. I feel that way about edge rush just because of the nature of defense and how these players on defense can get banged up. It's almost a given that guys are going to miss some time on defense, like a week or 3 weeks. So having extra depth, having extra good players at that spot, especially a position 2 where you could rotate guys in and out. It's not like quarterback. It's not like offensive line where if you got your starter, you got your main guy, they're playing the whole game and the backup or the guys further down on the depth chart aren't getting any snaps. It's not like that with the edge rush spot. You could rotate guys in and out. In fact, you kind of want to do that. You want to do that with running back. You want to do that with edge rush. I'm not necessarily saying you want to do that with secondary. Usually you want your top 3 guys out there for the most part, but with the secondary, you can play multiple guys. With receiver, you can play there's not too many positions. It's mainly offensive line and quarterback, now that I think of it. You got your guy, you got your starter, you're playing that guy. I guess you could say safety too. Safety, you could get unique with some combinations, even I guess with the secondary. But typically once you have your top guys, you're playing those top guys. But the fact is you could be 4 or 5 deep in those top guys in the secondary room with safeties and cornerbacks that you're playing a combination of dudes. So it's always good to have quality guys at that position. As we've seen this year with guys going out in the cornerback room, Darius Slay having subpar play, James Pierre stepping up. We have to pick up an Asante Samuel Jr. Not a bad problem to have. I think you get my point on what I'm saying there. Might have been a little long-winded, but All right, a couple more comments. What other topics did I say I wanted to talk about? Oh, Arthur Smith and Pickens. Yeah, you know what? I don't think we're going to get to this preview today. I don't. I think we'll save it for tomorrow. I don't think I'll go live tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do a video. But stay tuned. We'll get the preview for tomorrow out on a Saturday. Working on the weekend again. Yeah, we'll do Arthur Smith Pickens. We already talked TJ, Judon. And then, yeah, we'll stick with the comments, and then we'll wrap it up for today on a Friday. Joe Gerbis, my question is, why can't our outside linebackers stay healthy? I don't know, man. There have been some questions thrown out there about our training staff because we do see, it feels like an exorbitant amount of soft tissue injuries with this team over the last few years. So I don't know. He's typically always banged up a little bit. Same with Highsmith. So I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it has anything to do with our edge rushers and certain techniques and stuff that maybe throw them off and tweak some soft tissues. Our training staff not being the best. Who knows? I'm not exactly sure. But Watt's always hurt. Herbig's always hurt too. You're right. You know what? You're right. Watt, Highsmith, Herbig, always hurt. Always. Damn. All right. Does anyone have any definitive takes? Matthew Judon, yes, no? Let me know in the comments. Do you want Matthew Judon? Or are you good with what we got? When do you think TJ's coming back? Yeah, these last couple of games with the secondary, the addition of Asante Samuel Jr., James Pierre's play elevating, and JPJ being steady. Duggar, Ramsey at safety, bringing some fortification there after experiencing Elliott's injury. It's been awesome for us, man. Secondary's been really good. You're right. Best it's been in years. They got to keep it up, but I think you're right. I'm with you. It's probably been since Joe Hayden, Steven Nelson, when was that? 2019. I've felt this good about our secondary. Now, it's only been a short window. It hasn't been a big body of work. But if they keep it up, yeah, you can't deny that you like what you see out there. Asante Samuel Jr. keeps playing like this. Why not bring him back? Pierre, once he gets back from this injury, if he keeps it up, bring back Pierre. And then you could have your secondary, your cornerback room solidified for at least in 2026. And hopefully for somewhat of the future, because it's not like Asante Samuel Jr. is old. Pierre's up there a little bit. He's like 29-ish. Assuming Ramsey would be back too. And I don't know if you'd have him move to full-time safety in 2026. You keep him there because you're going to have Elliott coming back. I would like to keep Duggar. I would like to keep this secondary room for at least next year, for the foreseeable future. Keep it up. That's a given. We still got some games left. We'll see how they play for these last 3 games and hopefully into the playoffs. But right now, I love it. I'm with you. Denver? No one's talking about Denver? What do you mean? They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think they're overrated. I don't believe in Bo Nix. I'm sorry. They're not winning. I'm betting money they don't win a championship this year. Not literally, but yeah. Is there some sort of prop bet maybe I could do? Is there some sort of stakes I could put on that? Denver's not winning the Super Bowl because they have Bo Nix. They have a good defense, but Bo Nix is too limited. I'm sorry. He is. He's gritty. He's like a Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, Dak, Kirk Cousins. He's in that type of vein. He's in that type of category. Don't think you're winning a championship. I don't think he's enough to elevate the team, elevate in big moments, playoffs, going up against elite quarterbacks, elite defenses. It's one thing to do it for one game in the regular season. It's one thing to do it then. Or even just in the regular season, over the course of a regular season. It's one thing to be consistent. But when you're talking playoffs, 3-4 games, biggest moments, highest stakes, best defenses, best quarterbacks. I don't see it. I'm sorry. Now, Denver, here's what I will say. Denver might be positioning themselves in a really good way, being the number 1 seed, having that first-round bye, having that good defense. So maybe Bo Nix doesn't have to do too much for Denver to go on a little bit of a run. Almost like Jimmy G with the 49ers, but you see what ultimately happened in the Super Bowl with the Jimmy G. You saw what happened with Jared Goff and the Rams when Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl. And I think Jared Goff's good. I think he's very much proved me wrong in terms of who he is as a quarterback with his Lions stint. But with the Rams, he was limited. And there's a reason why Sean McVay moved off of Jared Goff. Like, that's the crazy part. Jared Goff was a very good quarterback with the Rams. Like, he was putting up a ton of stats. That was a high-octane offense. He was making Pro Bowls. But McVay knew when push comes to shove, like, Goff ain't elevating whenever we're lacking on offense. He's not elevating our receiver. He's not elevating the team if our defense is a little shaky. Stafford's one of those type of dudes. Now, we didn't see it fully whenever he was with Detroit, but clearly after Stafford went to the Rams, we could point to the Lions being the issue as to why Stafford didn't fully develop and reach his ceiling. But the talent has always been there. The talent to be able to take over a game and carry a team. Goff, I don't think that talent's there. I just think he's a perfect fit in the Lions system and what they're doing. And he's played really good. Just flat out, he has played really good. But I still think there are questions about his ceiling. Now, it wasn't his fault that they got back. You could say last year it was his fault. They lost to the Commanders, threw some bad picks, had some turnovers. Or he was part of the issue, a big part of the issue. But the year before, receivers had some bad drops in big spots. They should have actually went to the Super Bowl. Was it the Niners? I can't remember if it was the conference championship or a divisional round. They lost because a couple receivers dropped passes on 4th down. I think a kicker, they might have missed a field goal or something too. That wasn't on Jared Goff. Jared Goff played fine in that game. But back to the hold on, before I get to that, back to the Denver comment. I don't know why I just went on a whole Denver spiel there. But it's relevant because, you know, if we're talking about Steelers making the playoffs, Denver might be a team that we see at some point. But with Denver and Bo Nix, I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say I'm not a believer. Not a believer. I'll believe it when I see it with Bo Nix. He's had his moments this year of being really clutch and having good fourth quarters, but he's also had some really bad halves, really bad first 3 quarters of this game where you are looking at him and saying, dude, you're just not that guy. You're a little bit too limited to win a Super Bowl and get this Denver team to their highest potential. But he's a gritty player. He grinds it out. You got to respect that. I'm not disrespecting his toughness, mental fortitude, anything like that. I just think he's a limited player, just like a Baker Mayfield, just like a Kirk Cousins, a Dak Prescott. But to this Anthony Laricia comment, Alan Lazard, do you think he'll play in Pittsburgh? I don't know what the holdup is. I think this would be a great signing. This would be a great pickup. I think he would be an upgrade over Calvin Austin as our wide receiver 4, I think. The familiarity with Rodgers does mean something. We're seeing the impact that familiarity and rapport has by adding MVS into the lineup and how that's opened up things. And MVS had a touchdown last week. DK Metcalf is starting to get his numbers up, get his production up over the last couple of weeks with MVS being out there, because I think MVS is drawing attention away from DK Metcalf. Just everything's more open. Everything's a little bit more explosive. And I think Alan Lazard could low-key do that, because if he's on the field, I think defense's attendance got to be up for Alan Lazard because he poses a threat. He's got that rapport with Aaron Rodgers, and there's a chance that the ball would be going his way. Even if he is the 3rd or 4th option, it's something that you got to be looking out for. You got to be cognizant of. So I would say, why not? Worst case scenario, he's just chilling on the practice squad. And granted, maybe that's one of the reasons why you could pick up a Matt Judon, but I think it's different. I think it's a little bit different. The nature of the positions are different, receiver versus edge rusher, where legitimately you're having 4 receivers on the field at the same time. You could do that in a formation. Edge rush, you're only having 2 guys out there. 3 guys max, and if you're having 3 guys, you're having one of them play the rover spot. You're having them do like the inside linebacker, off-ball linebacker stuff. So nature of position is a little bit different, and the fact, too, again, with edge rush, we're going to be getting TJ back. We're going to be getting Herbig back. Hopefully there's already a certain hierarchy there that you don't want to mess with. And I don't even, like Matt Judon, I don't even think he's better than a Jack Sawyer right now. Is he better than a Jeremiah Moon? Is he better than Malik Harrison if we put him out to the edge rush spot? Or DeMarvin Leon? I don't think so. Alan Lazard, I think there's a case he could be our fourth guy. He could potentially be like our third guy. Now, we're pretty late in the season, and I'm sure it would be a tall task to ask him to get completely up to speed where he is comfortable out there in every formation and every play call that we have. But there is something to be said with the familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure he can get up to speed quicker than most in this type of situation if called upon. I would love the move. I would. We joked about Alan Lazard somehow finding his way onto this Steelers team, and we've rolled our eyes at it. But now, given the circumstances and how the Steelers season has played out and how we, could still, it wouldn't hurt to still have some receiver help. And Alan Lazard is available for the cheap, for free. The Jets released him. It's not like we're trading any assets, doing anything at the trade deadline to get him. Not opposed. Not opposed at all. In fact, I wish it would have happened already. All right, what else we got? I wanted to see your comments on Matt Judon, if anyone is like for it or against it. Let's see. Yeah, some of you guys are talking about Bo Nix. Oh man, we were differing in opinions. Some of you guys are saying Bo is him, Nix is super slept on. Yeah, no. Bro, Baker's way better than Kirk. Well, now, sure. But Kirk with the Vikings, a lot of people talked about him being like a borderline top 10, top 15 quarterback, And that's probably around where Baker is right now. Didn't Kirk have like 3 touchdowns or something last game? I'm not a Kirk Cousins guy. I'm just bringing that up to mess with your point, to mess with your comment. Trust me, I'm not debating Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. I do think for the most part they are in that same category though. Maybe one has a better season than the other in a given year, but they're around in the same category. Maybe not now. Baker's younger. Baker's more in his prime than Kirk, but think of when Kirk was in his prime. It's about the same. Kirk was probably better than Baker. Go back to when Baker was with the Browns, Kirk Vikings. Kirk was a little bit better. But again, same category. Same just like, okay, top 15-ish. Good. Keep your team relevant. Ultimately not going to be good enough to win a championship against these elite quarterbacks, these better defenses in the playoffs. Kirk has 1 playoff win. Whole career. Okay, Judon. No on Judon from Kevin Reed. Everyone's against it. Okay, I just want to get some clarification. Just wanted to see if we're all on the same page. All right, we got Brock Winters. Burrow is getting more depressed. I see a path. I am too, a little bit. You're seeing in these press conferences, you're seeing in these interviews, something is clearly off with him and Cincy. He's trying to do some save face work in his most recent interviews, but I don't think he's happy to be in Cincy. I don't think he believes in the organization. I don't think he really trusts ownership, that they're willing to go out of their way to put a contender on the field around Joe Burrow. They gave him his receivers, but everything else is to shit. The offensive line, not that good. The defense is like worse than the league. Now, granted, Burrow was hurt for a majority of this season. I think that's a good reason, or a large majority of a reason why the Bengals are in the situation they're in right now for this 2025 season. What are they, like 4-9 or 4-10 or something? Like if Burrow was playing, I'm sure they would at least be 500 in the playoff mix down this stretch here, competing for the AFC North with us and the Ravens. So probably part of Burrow's frustration is him being injured, coming back to a team that doesn't have a chance. So there's really like nothing you could do about that. Injuries, they happen, and Burrow's injuries are like really weird. The hand injury, the wrist injury, the ACL happened earlier in his career. This one, turf toe, it's like he doesn't have anything like lingering or chronic that if it happens, you're like, oh, yeah, we can expect that just because he's got bad knees or that's always been a thing for him. These are like weird injuries Burrow's dealing with. And the fact that he's coming back from another injury that has him out for a while and his team kind of sucks. I think that's part of it, but I think he's reading the tea leaves in this Bengals organization and how they're setting up these teams. Because even last year when he was healthy, it's like he did everything. He was in the conversation for MVP, and the Bengals were like, 9-8 to finish the season. Usually you're not being talked about as an MVP unless you're like a 1 or 2 seed or you're winning your division. That's how good Joe Burrow played, but it still wasn't enough because of how bad the Bengals defense was. So I think he's not only frustrated about just the state of his health and injuries and not being able to play football. I do think he really loves the game. And in fact, he said he wants to play football for a long time. He wants to be in the category of Tom Brady and some of these other quarterbacks that play into their 40s and play at a high level and go down as one of the greats. So some people took his comments initially where he's like, I'm not having fun, or like, I got to be having fun out here, and sometimes I question that. Some people were taking those comments as, oh, he wants to retire early. That's what it is. It's not just about the Bengals. He just wants to retire early. He's not having fun anymore. But he said more recently, he clarified that he wants to play for a really long time. So if he's not having fun, if he's like questioning his future and like things are up in the air, it's got to be due to the Bengals. A good part of it's got to be due to the Bengals and his distrust of the organization. And if he really wants out, he's going to have some leverage. But he's going to have to pull out the retirement card, even if he doesn't want to force that leverage on the Bengals. If he wants to go to a team that he actually feels like can compete and is going to give him enough surroundings to compete year in and year out and be Super Bowl contenders, he's going to have to say, if you don't trade me to this list of 4 or 5 teams, then I'm just going to retire. I'm not playing for you guys. So you guys got to pick your poison here. You guys got to pick your spot. That's the path for the Steelers. I would assume, because here's the thing, I would assume Burrow, if he didn't want to play for the Bengals anymore, he would want to have some oversight on where his next team is. With the money that he's made already, he does have leverage. I think he would have some say in this. And the NFL, with some of these star players, has turned a little bit more into the NBA and players having control over where they land, even if they're under contract with their current team. We've seen Kevin Durant be under contract. He still somehow makes a way to a squad that he wants. Like, he's got a list of teams that he wants to get traded to. He somehow makes it to that team. Because that's the other thing, too. A team doesn't want to trade for a guy that doesn't want to be there. Toronto Raptors took a huge risk with Kawhi Leonard, and he actually stuck to his word, too. He's like, I'm not signing with you guys long term. This is just going to be a one-year thing. I don't know why you traded for me, but he won the championship. The risk paid off. But typically that's not how trades are done with star players. You want assurance that the player is going to want to sign with you long term, is going to want to be there. You don't want a guy that's going to come in there, be a malcontent, and probably make your locker room chemistry even worse than what it is already and have that type of effect. So I think that, like, you could talk yourself into a path to Burrow going to the Steelers. You could, like, if it gets bad in Cincy this offseason, you could talk yourself into it. It's so unlikely to happen. But if Burrow really wanted to force his way out, make things ugly, give a list of teams he would want to go to, and if Rodgers doesn't come back, we have an opening at quarterback, and Burrow says Steelers are one of those teams, and the Steelers give the Bengals the highest offer out of all the teams on the list, where it's like there's a good gap between how good of our package is versus the second and third team. Maybe the Bengals would forget that they're trading Burrow to an AFC North rival. Maybe. Like, the Bengals organization, Bengals management, they typically aren't the sharpest tool in the tool shed, so that's all. That's all. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not gonna say completely no, though. I'm not gonna say completely no to it, though, right now. Okay, let's get to this Arthur Smith comment on Pickens, even though he doesn't directly address Pickens here. I think we could read between the lines. I think we could take a shot at this, take a guess at what Arthur Smith's referring to here. Basically, he's talking about the guys on offense, the guys that are playing for him and how he really likes this group of guys, that there's some certain aspects that set them apart from other offenses, other players he's coached on offense before.
The more you get to know people and trust is, well, just having real conversations. I mean, maybe call me old school. I don't get on social media and send weird emojis or passive aggressive things. And so you just have a conversation, person to person, the way it should be. And that's why I love these guys.
I mean, come on, right? Deontay Johnson wasn't here when Arthur Smith was here last year. Claypool wasn't. Juju wasn't. Who was the receivers in Arthur Smith's offense last year? Pickens. Van Jefferson. Mike Williams came over. Who else? I guess Scotty Miller was here. Ben Skoranek. God, our receiving core last year kind of sucked. As I'm thinking about it. Oh, man. We still have not found that wide receiver 2 just yet. I like what MVS and Thielen are doing. I do. I like those additions. But, damn, bro. Outside of our wide receiver 1s these last few years, depth chart's looking bleak in that receiver room. Anyway. Yeah, I think that was the receiver room last year. Pickens, Jefferson, Mike Williams. Am I missing anyone? I guess Roman Wilson wasn't here. Calvin Austin, Skoranek, Scotty Miller. I don't think, who's the name of all those guys that took to social media after games? Just GP. It's just GP. Who was the guy out of all those receivers that would stir things up passive aggressively on social media, make things about himself, take attention away from the team? It was Pickens. So I think what's funny about this comment is it makes me, and it also has to do with how the Steelers have been playing these last couple weeks as an offense and as a whole. We were 6-6. The sky was falling these last 2 weeks. Offense looking good. Doesn't really look like we're that desperate for this bona fide wide receiver 2. If we got MVS out there, Thielen out there, Rodgers is spreading it around, Kenneth Gainwell stepping up in the passing game. It's all right, yeah, as long as this offense is putting up 28 plus, 30 plus per game, I ain't stressing about this wide receiver 2. I'm stressing whenever we're only putting up single digits in a game, or we look like we did on Sunday Night Football against the Chargers. That's what I'm stressing about wide receiver 2, because it looks like we need one in those games. It looks like we're not explosive. It looks like we're not really opened up as an offense. We're not spreading it around. Defenses are paying way too much attention to DK Metcalf. Other guys aren't getting open. But these last 2 weeks, it's all right. Pickens who? So I think we're at the Pickens take cycle of that trade where I think I'm wrong for admitting I was wrong about Pickens, if that makes sense. Because this is how it went. When the trade went down, I was scratching my head. I think all of us were scratching our heads saying, what the hell are the Steelers doing? Terrible timing. But if we really felt like Pickens was going to be that much of a distraction, that much drama, he wasn't going to be a fit with this new look team, chemistry-wise, it's going to be addition through subtraction. I can see it through. Let's see what Roman Wilson does in year 2. See if Calvin Austin can get a little bit better. What does he look like with Aaron Rodgers with that speed? I think we can make it work. We still got a DK Metcalf here. We got the tight ends. Arthur Smith likes to use tight ends. The offense could very much work. And then, the year starts out, 3-1, first 4 weeks, first 6 weeks, first month and a half. Offense was humming. We had a good lead on the AFC North. I think we were 3-1. At one point, we were 4-2. We're saying to ourselves, yeah, even though Pickens is lighting it up with Dallas, what's their record? 2-4 or something. They don't even have a winning record. Pickens is lighting it up. We're over here. It looks like we're together as a team. The offense is still putting up points. Rodgers is spreading it around. Who needs Pickens? He'd be messing up the vibes anyway. Still looking like a good trade. But then the middle of the season happened, and Pickens continues to light it up with the Cowboys. All of a sudden, they start winning. He's dominating, and our offense goes to shit, and we're losing games in embarrassing fashion. to the point where we're 6-6, lose the AFC North lead, and we're yelling "Fire Tomlin" chants in the stadium. At that point, I think we all were admitting, like most of us at least, that Steelers were wrong for trading Pickens. I was like, yeah, I was wrong for saying that was a good move. I was wrong. But now I think I'm wrong on admitting I was wrong, because Pickens the last couple weeks, not too good. He had to crash out on Thursday Night Football. Steelers 2-0 these last 2 weeks. Offense is back. Chemistry at an all-time high, it seems. You saw the Pittsburgh Symphony and the Steelers team there. Vibes are high. Energy's high. There's a belief. So I think we're at that point in the Pickens take cycle. I was wrong about being wrong. So my initial take was right. Addition through subtraction, it feels like. Who would have thought? Pickens still does have 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns on the season. But maybe there is something to be said for team first guys being here. Because when we hit this low point, who's to say Pickens doesn't make it worse? Although, it just felt like when we were 6-6 and the offense was looking as bad as it was, it's like I don't even think Pickens can make it worse. It doesn't seem like the locker room energy's there anyway. Just, if we would have had Pickens, at least we would have some production on the field. At least he would oppose a threat to the defense. He would be someone to throw to outside of DK Metcalf. And, in fact, during that middle of the season stretch, Pickens was lapping DK with production. Now DK's picked it up. It's looking like he's going to have like 1,000 yards for the season. But it's looking bad there. It was looking bad. But I kind of like that Arthur Smith insight. It gives you a sigh of relief on the Pickens trade that there's probably a lot going on behind the scenes, even that we didn't know, with his immaturity and some of his antics, that even though we're missing the production, even though we could use the talent, no doubt, because that's the one thing I think you could definitively say is that the Steelers should have had a better plan on replacing Pickens. If you're going to trade Pickens, fine, but bring someone of similar caliber, someone that you feel like is going to give you 80 to 90% of what Pickens brings to the table on the field. Now, here's the thing. The funniest part about it is the Steelers' negligence on finding the Pickens replacement might just somehow weirdly work out in our favor with us finding Thielen off the waivers, picking up MVS and putting him on practice squad. Who knows, maybe even bringing a Lazard. Could work out with this team of misfits and cast-offs, like Rodgers was saying, to where it just works. It's not really explainable from a Madden standpoint. Whenever you look at the overall ratings, whenever you look at the depth chart, you're like, man, we got a 35-year-old Thielen out there and a MVS who's probably, 33, 34, who never really fully lived up to his potential throughout the course of his career. But somehow it works. Somehow the offense moves the ball. Somehow these guys make timely catches. Somehow it just works. It works to the point where Thielen and MVS being out there opens it up more for everyone else. And Gainwell's having 50, 60 receiving yard type of gains. DK Metcalf is having a resurgence, a renaissance. Rodgers looks like the best that he has in a Steeler uniform. Even if MVS has 1 or 2 catches on a game, Thielen only has 1 or 2 catches. If the offense works, the offense works. I don't care who's getting the ball. I don't care how it necessarily looks, as long as it works. As long as it works. So there you go with Arthur Smith's comments about having a bunch of team-first guys and how everyone communicates with each other and is up front and doesn't take to social media to air out their issues. He doesn't directly call out Pickens, but I think we can put 2 and 2 together on who he was referring to. Look at the receivers that were here last year. Look at the receivers. Who was the guy that went to social media? There was only one guy. Wow, this would be something. Gucci says, think Pickens goes to Baltimore this offseason. I don't know what happens. I think Dallas is just going to re-sign him. I wouldn't say too much invested in him because all they gave up was a 3rd-round pick, but it's Dallas, though. I don't think they're as concerned with some of the drama and antics Pickens brings to the table as the Steelers. I think Dallas weirdly works for Pickens because even though he said, remember his comment after he left the Steelers. It was his first interview with Dallas, I think, or one of his first interviews. He's like, yeah, I like Dallas. There's just something different here. They're about winning Super Bowls. Like, that was completely an ignorant comment. Definitely lacked awareness of his past stop in the Steelers versus where he just went to in Dallas. Like, I mean, Dallas is worse than the Steelers in terms of not hitting the full ceiling of being in like Super Bowl contention, but they're way more noisy. And actually, from a record standpoint on a year in and year out basis and like winning divisions and making playoffs, they're kind of a little bit more helter-skelter than the Steelers in that department too. They haven't been to an NFC championship in like 30 years, or they haven't been to an NFC championship in 30 years. So that was the funny thing, whereas like Pickens was like, yeah, they're all about winning Super Bowls here. They're actually not. They're just about kind of noise and staying more relevant in the headline space as opposed to like the actual on-the-field space. You went from a team that doesn't necessarily like the headlines. Now, they're always going to come with the Steelers because of how high-profile a franchise we are in terms of like the whole NFL. We're a top 4 or 5 league, or top 4 or 5 team organization in this league. We are talked about a bunch just naturally. But we don't seek that out. We would rather stay low-key, get to work, be blue-collar. But he goes to a Dallas team that is kind of all about the noise, kind of all about like the numbers, the stats, the glitz, the glamour, the marketing. So I weirdly think Pickens works with Dallas. Because if Pickens, it feels like, to me at least, to me, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, Pickens is fine with getting 7 receptions, 130 yards, a touchdown, and Dallas losing because he got the ball, he got his production, he did his thing out there. As opposed to, say, Dallas wins and he gets 2 catches for 20 yards. I think he would actually be more pissed about that than getting the 7 receptions, 130, 140 yards, touchdown, and Dallas losing. Like, DK, so, yeah, maybe this just, again, goes all back to why us getting rid of Pickens is ultimately going to be the right move long term. So I was right on my initial take. I was wrong about admitting that I was wrong about it. But DK, from my standpoint, he's the opposite. He's like 2 catches, 20 yards. We win. Who cares? Who cares? Doesn't give a shit. He's all about winning. If he was able to make a nice block or 2 to open up something for Jalen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell, they score a touchdown and that contributes to the win, he's pumped about that. Whereas we've seen Pickens, when he's not involved in a play, not running the best of routes, not really blocking out there. Does he go to Baltimore? I think he just stays in Dallas because, like, I just went on that spiel there of why I think it works in Dallas. They gave up the 3rd-round pick. Wasn't the biggest of investments to get him in there. But the production's on display. Dak likes him. I think they deal with the drama in a way that's more suitable for the Cowboys or the Cowboys, just how they do operationally as opposed to the Steelers. We try to hide that shit under the rug, whereas I think Dallas, Jerry Jones, all that, they kind of lean into that. If it's something that's being talked about the next day, it's something they kind of like shrug off, that they're, you know, they don't, as long as you're talking about us, it's like, who cares? So I think Pickens is back in Dallas. That would be my take. Gucci just dropped a couple more bucks there. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I think that's it, though, for the show. I think that's it. We're up on an hour. Dak doesn't like him. I don't know. Is that because of recent weeks or something? I haven't really been paying attention to the Dak and Pickens relationship. From afar, it seemed like Dak was cool with him. Had nothing but positive things to say. Or maybe that's Dak just being Dak and saying all the right things at the podium and not trying to make things worse than what they are. I hope he doesn't go to Baltimore. You know what? I hope he doesn't go to Baltimore. I hope not. Here's what they'll probably do. This is the best point. D-Dog says they're going to give GP the franchise tag. You at least do that. You retain his rights. you keep him as an asset, and then figure out what you're going to do after that. You do the franchise tag. Maybe you negotiate a long-term deal while he's under the franchise tag, or maybe you trade him. You just don't want to let him walk for nothing after he's putting up these stats this season. Because the stats, if Pickens just got out of his own way, the stats reflect a $30, $35 million contract. If DK just got $30 million from us and Pickens is putting up the stats he's doing right now with the Cowboys, put up the stats that he did with the Steelers with shaky quarterback play, it's like, dude, you'd be getting $30, $35 million on the open market. If he just got out of his own way. Because of the Thursday Night Football crash out, because of some of the stuff you saw pop up later in the season with him and the Cowboys, it's like, man, we don't know if that Pittsburgh shit is behind you. It's coming up again. That makes us think we can't trust you going forward. That $30, $35 million now turns into our offer being like $20 million for 2 years, $20, $25 million just 2 years. As opposed to 5 years, $30, $35 million per year. It's like, damn, he's costing himself money. A Raider. That's funny. If Pickett stays and they sign Pickens, that would be poetic justice. That would be beautiful. Yeah, Donald agrees with me saying he's not leaving Dallas. I think it's the right fit. I think it is really the right fit. Anything else to talk about? I'll do the preview tomorrow. Like I said, I think we're out of time. We just talked an hour about TJ being back, edge rusher spot. Do we trade for Judon? Some other stuff that you guys brought up in the chat. We went on a Bo Nix in Denver rant there for a little bit. Burrow conversation popped up again. TJ's back in the building. He's back in the building. Lifted One says TJ's back. He's back in the building. Not fully back. It's if you say TJ Watt's back, that's a better headline than TJ Watt showed up at Steelers facility. Basically, it all means the same thing, right? TJ's back. Yo, thanks, bro. Says love the channel. D, keep grinding, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, these Friday lives are the wave, man. We're gonna keep these up. These are fun. I think this is the way to get the weekend started. Having to root for the Pats this weekend is tough. To beat the Ravens, yeah, that's what we want. It would be nice to have the playoffs locked up before Week 18. Is it doable? Is it possible for the Steelers? Here's the thing about this Patriots game against the Ravens. I thought the Ravens were going to be underdogs. They're at home. They're actually favored. So it goes back to my point, though. This goes back to my point about the AFC teams in this AFC playoff race. Patriots, one of the top 2 or 3 teams, right? Everyone's saying Drake May for MVP, this, all that shit. But they're playing the Ravens this week. Granted, it's on the road, and the Ravens are still favored. And we know how dysfunctional and inconsistent the Ravens are this year. Ravens are still favored over the Patriots. That's why I mean the AFC's for the taking. I bet you too. I would be interested. We were just talking about Denver, and some of you guys are saying you like Bo Nix. You believe in Bo Nix. I would be interested what that spread would be if Denver went on the road to the Ravens. Same thing with the Patriots going to the Ravens right now, and the Ravens are favored. I bet you the Ravens would be favored against Denver. Denver going on the road to Baltimore. I bet you. It all goes hand in hand with my thought after these last 2 weeks and how the Steelers played of why not us in this wide open AFC. I don't think there's a team you could trust out there. I don't think there's a quarterback outside of Josh Allen in terms of our opponents that you could trust in the playoffs. But that Bills team's all over the place. Bills defense, my God. Not every game you're going to be able to come back from 21 down like they just did against the Patriots. Not every day you're going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to do that for 3 games straight. You're definitely not. Bills defense all over the place, and Bills have found ways to lose in these playoffs for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Missing field goals, bad defense after Josh Allen threw those 4 touchdowns in that one game. I think they were all to Gabe Davis. Those are the 4 touchdowns. Clutch at the end. What was it, 13 seconds left or whatever. Mahomes goes down, ties it up with a field goal. Bills find ways to lose. They find ways to lose. It's not on Josh Allen. Josh Allen's been playing really good in these playoff games in these big moments. You got to give him credit. So that's what I mean. He's the only quarterback I really trust in the AFC. I trust Rodgers. I'll give Rodgers his due. Although last couple of years with the Packers, he said, "You know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that." He's had a moment or two where he's played under expectations, I feel like. But some of those years with the Packers, they're getting like 1 seeds and stuff, and they're making it to at least NFC championships, and he's having like a letdown game or something. At least they're winning some playoff games along the way to even get to that point. Herbert is trustworthy. Is he? Is he? I don't know, bro. In the playoffs, we've only seen him 2 times. I'm not going to say he completely choked the game away against the Jaguars when they were up, 3 or 4 scores. It wasn't all on him, but part of it was him. Part of it, I think the play calling was bad. That was when they still had Staley. Play calling was bad when they were with that lead. And then last year he had 4 picks. I mean, how are you saying he's trustworthy? Stroud? He's been good. He's been good, but he hasn't been the same since his rookie year. Even this year, he's good. He's good. It's more of that Texans defense. Stroud feels like he's in that Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins category. I don't know if he's necessarily elite guy, top 7, top 8 type of guy. Lawrence, he's having a good season, but he has his moment. He's all over the place. He really is. And then Drake May, haven't seen him in the playoffs yet. I don't think the Patriots team is like that good. We already talked about Bo Nix in Denver, and then we just went over things with the Bills and Josh Allen. Josh Allen really good, but I mean, Bills find ways to lose in these playoff games. They just do. Missing 4th downs. Yeah, like there's always like a play or two. Some wonky, some weird play or two with the Bills in these games against the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs aren't in it anymore. Maybe, is it just the Chiefs for the Bills? Is that their boogeyman? Is that their nightmare? Just the Chiefs? They also got housed against the Bengals that one year, though, too. Got housed. Joe Burrow and company went to Buffalo in the snow, took care of business. So I don't know. Yeah, well, I guess Burrow's not in the playoffs either. Burrow and the Bengals. Here's the thing with that Bills game. Or we'll say potential Bills game if we match up against them. If we're the 4 seed, they're the 5 seed. Because I was actually talking to my buddy on the phone just yesterday. We were saying, who would we want to play in the playoffs if we make it? Who would be the best matchup? I was like, really, it's just any of these teams. Probably don't want to play Buffalo because of Josh Allen. If you had to pick, if you had your choice. But if you want to look back at that Bills game, some silver linings. I mean, we were up going into half, right? All it took was 2 plays for all of a sudden the Bills to have all the momentum and the game to completely shift and for it to be over and for us to start yelling fire Tomlin. It was only 2 plays. If those 2 plays don't happen, is it a different outcome? Rodgers don't fumble. And Mason comes in and throws the pick immediately. And all of a sudden, Buffalo's up. It's only 2 plays. It's only 2 plays. It's just funny how a couple weeks can change the narrative. A couple weeks can change the energy, can change the vibes. We go 2-0 these last 2 weeks. Offense looks good. Defense starts stepping up, getting better. It's like, maybe that Buffalo game wasn't as bad as we thought. Meanwhile, we're booing fucking Renegade in the stadium. We're yelling fire Tomlin chants. And I'm saying, maybe only just 2 plays to change the course of that game. Maybe it's not all bad. Maybe it's not our whole organization, our whole foundation of what we're doing is rotten from the inside out, and we got to clean house, fire everyone, get rid of everything. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it was just those 2 plays that affected things. And if we played Buffalo again, it'd be a different story. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. Been on here for an hour and 9 minutes. This was a great show. Shout out to all you guys for making it fun, being in the chat. Everyone have a great Friday, man. Great weekend. We got college football playoffs, right? College football playoffs tomorrow. NFL games tomorrow, too. I think, right? Some Saturday games. That's fun. Steelers Lions at 4 o'clock. So I'll be live streaming after the game, probably, it's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So stop through for that. I'm still going to do a Steelers Lions preview tomorrow. I think. If I'm too hungover tomorrow and don't make it, please understand. I'll do a quick preview right now. Steelers win. I'll take us. Lions secondary banged up. You could definitely have your way with their defense. You could run the ball. You could pass the ball. You could have the balance that we've been seeking and we've accomplished over the last couple weeks. Lions offense, though, is going to pose a different threat. It's going to be a tougher task than even the Ravens, and especially compared to what we faced last week with Miami. But the thought process remains the same. Stop the run first. Lions want to run the ball. They want to ground and pound. Gibbs, Montgomery. The problem is, even if you do that, Goff's been playing good, and they have Jamison Williams. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I forgot they didn't have Laporta. Laporta's on IR, so that helps. Their third and fourth receivers aren't bad. It's Raymond and that Tesla guy. So, Goff can put it up there still. He could sling it. But a lot of it is predicated on them having success on the ground and Goff doing play action and us selling out to stop the run, and that gives the Lions favorable matchups down the field. So stop the run first. Make Goff beat you. Granted, Goff is better than Tua. They got better weapons up there with the Lions compared to Miami. It's going to be at their place at home. So it's a tougher task. And we're missing TJ. We're likely missing Herbig. Secondary's been playing good, though. I think the job of stopping the run is going to be a little bit more difficult this week. It's just hang on. Just try. If you could hold them to 4 yards of carry, and even if they get 100, 110, 120 on the ground with Gibbs and Montgomery, I think that's a successful day. That's a successful day. I think you just got to hold on. Hold them to field goals, be efficient in the red zone. Maybe get that turnover too, take advantage of it. I think our offense is going to be all right. We should be able to move the ball. I would like for us to get off to a faster start, though. This is going to be a different dynamic compared to Miami. We're going to have to put up points. We're not going to be able to just get away with being conservative in the first half and putting it on our defense, making Tua try to beat us, because Miami only had 3 points in the first half of the last game. I think Detroit, a little bit more high octane than that. Literally, I think they're the number one offense in the league with points scored as an offense. Goff might be number one in passing yards or something like that too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but honestly, that was the preview right there. Maybe I don't have to do the preview. Maybe I don't. That was a pretty good preview. What else can you ask for from a preview? Pretty damn good. Broke it all down for you. I don't know if I gotta repeat that tomorrow. I don't. So there you go. Maybe you'll see me tomorrow still. Maybe. If not, I feel like I just did a breakdown of the game justice there for the last few minutes of this show. Shout out to Emmanuel Johnson for the 99 cents there as we close this thing out. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay chilling. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.